am a family law attorney. I've been doing that for 20 years. And then in the last 2 years, I opened up my own practice and I wanted to incorporate other practice areas. So I've been doing estate planning for about 2 years now. And I've also sort of added elder law and business formations to my practice. And so I'm really, really excited about that. Now that I have my own firm, I can sort of incorporate more of the things that I want to do in addition to family law. And I practice in Maryland and DC.
Amazing. So family law for a long time, but now you're doing estate planning and you've been with 2HLL for over a year now, right? How did you find us?
So I initially found you, and I can't even remember if it was on a Facebook group. It might have been in a Facebook group. Somebody mentioned your name and your program, so I checked you out. And I think you and I have had this conversation. I did join another program initially and just found it was too overwhelming. And then I got into your program, and it was the perfect speed at the perfect time for me to take it. I mean, one of the things I really, really appreciate about your program is it really is step by step. It's not just about learning, estate and trust, and that was great, and I needed that as well. But it also tells you practically how to do a design session, how to meet with new clients, like how to go through the basic step by steps that people need to know if they haven't been doing this for a long time.
Oh, good. I love hearing that. We try to just give you the whole sort of blueprint, A to Z, at least a high level, so you can start to see what's possible and then dive in. So, what kind of clients do you meet? Do you work mostly with business owners or families, with young children? What is your ideal client?
A little bit of both. So I have a lot of different clients who are business owners, but also are parents with young children. So I'm sort of combining both. My ideal client are working individuals, whether they are married, whether they are single, typically have children, younger children. That way we can grow together with the different needs as their children get older, they acquire more assets, and they need some more planning.
Because it's a lifelong thing, isn't it? It's not just a once and done. This is something that we really try to communicate to the lawyers in the program, especially if you're working with, business owners, parents of minor children. Everything is going to change, or it's going to change regardless.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's your goal to build more of a lifelong relationship with your clients, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's absolutely the goal. And it's one thing I know that not a lot of people even know they need. I was a family law attorney. I am a family law attorney doing divorce. Not everybody needs a divorce, fingers crossed, but everybody needs estate planning. And I think the earlier we get in front of people who can actually can learn and understand what it is, the value of estate planning and how that protects not only their assets, but their children and their family long term, I think is absolutely ideal.
Education is such a big piece of the puzzle. And I think it's especially important now that there's so much information out there on the internet. And, it used to be hard to get access to information to like learn stuff, and then now it's all sort of out there, which is good in some ways. And in some ways, I think it's bad because it can be overwhelming.
It
So,
can be
are,
overwhelming or just not the right information that somebody needs.
then there's that. Then there's that. That is not like I'm reading this. I'm like, this actually isn't even right. Yeah, so education is really important. Are you hosting? Whoops, we lost your face,
Oh,
Tracy.
oh, hold on. I don't know why. I don't know why my phone keeps switching to a desk view and not to. We sure did lose my face.
It's
There we go.
okay. We got a snapshot of like a piece of paper or something, so it wasn't anything
Yeah,
major.
it's my phone. It like all of a sudden it switches to my phone. So I have, let me move my phone out of the way. Maybe it just senses it. I apologize.
No, no, that's okay. Yeah. So have you started hosting workshops in your community, seminars, webinars? How's that going?
I have designed a webinar that I'm going to do, particularly around my divorce clients and what that looks like after a divorce, and how it's important to revise your estate planning if you've already done it, but also to start it now that you may have acquired new assets or additional funds that you didn't have prior to the divorce. So I haven't released that yet, but that is what I'm working on next, so that I can sort of incorporate that naturally and organically into what I'm already doing.
Yeah, yeah, because this is the thing, is that most people, they've got some sense that they need to do estate planning. But how or why or when and how much they should spend, that's just all sort of up in the air. So, workshops are a great opportunity just to educate, your community on all the different things. And I think that they're even more important than ever now, because there's too much of a good thing, too much good information out there. It's hard to know where to start.
It really is. And just the really good thing too about your program, Laura, is you give us a starting point. Like, you really help us, give us the platform for a variety of different workshops that we may want to do, and use it as a springboard. And that really is helpful, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And so when it's put in front of us, you're like, oh, that makes sense. And you can tweak it and revise it so it works for your practice. But at least I had a starting point, and I wasn't, starting from scratch and on my own, which would have been a disaster.
It would have, I know. We really give you the whole blueprint. And I think the thing that's nice about 2HLL is that it's very comprehensive, but it's also very, I think, freeing. Like, we don't want to control your firm. A lot of this is going to be your personal flavor, right? But there's the wheel has been created in terms of how do you do an estate planning practice. So why recreate it? But we want our lawyers to have a lot of flexibility and a lot of control over their own firm. And it sounds like that's what you're doing, is you're taking what works for you and implementing it.
Absolutely. And it's been wonderful, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been something that I didn't know I was going to enjoy so much. And so I love it. Your program was absolutely amazing and exactly what I needed at the right time.
Thank you, Tracy. What do you think about the community?
The community is really great too. I mean, the other thing that I really love, in addition to all the practical tools that you give us, is the community and the people that you work with Lainey and with Casey, and also the people that I went through the cohort with, offers so much advice and sounding boards, and all are working for a common goal. I feel like people were sharing their knowledge. There were groups that were formed within the DC and Maryland sort of people that were in those states that practice. And so we sort of got to know each other that way as well. And then the other thing I really like, Laura, that I just thought of in terms of community, is one of the things I appreciate, and it speaks a lot to sort of you as both, the leader of 2HLL and as an educator, is that you were not afraid to say, hey, you know what? Here's a different way to do it. Lainey has done it, for example, this way, and she may be able to offer something. You may not have done something in a similar way. And I love the fact that you didn't like sort of gatekeep. You're like, hey, learn from other people, because I think that's really important. So that really speaks volumes of you in terms of just how you run the program. And you really do have our best interest at heart and want us to learn in a well rounded, comprehensive way. So thank you for that.
I'm glad that you see that, because that's exactly how I feel. There's a couple of things I'm like, I'm going to put my foot down about this. I really believe that this is the way to do it, but so much else. It's going to be, see what works for you, develop your own voice, your own brand. The motto of 2HLL, a rising tide lifts all boats.
So true.
And I
So,
really
so
think
true.
that, yes, to the extent that we help you succeed and you help others in the group succeed, we're all going to rise together. So it's an amazing community, and it's because of lawyers like you. I mean, we're so lucky that we've got such a great group.
Yeah, we do have a really great, but thank you. Yeah, great group of people. I've really enjoyed it. I have to say, immensely.
Amazing. So give us a little blurb before we go about how can people contact you, et cetera. We'll put it down in the card below. But tell us again which states you work with, because it's not every state, right?
No, it's not every state. I am licensed to practice in Maryland and Washington, D.C. And so I work with a variety of people, but a lot of my clients are families with young children and business owners. You can find me on my website at coatesfamilylaw.com or on IG at I am Coates Family Law.
Amazing. Estate planning, business law, family law.
Estate, exactly. I do all of those estate planning, business formations, as well as I continue to do family law too.
Amazing. Thank you, Tracy, for being on the podcast. We'll put this up and link all of your bios. We love showcasing the lawyers in our community. I'm really proud of all of you. So this is going to go up on the YouTube channel, and I appreciate your time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you. All right, that's good. That'll be plenty. We'll have Leighton chop it off there at the end, and we'll throw it up
Oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
and my face. Sorry about all the phone stuff, but that was great. But no, I want to say thank you again, Laura. Your program has been amazing. It really has. And like I said, I started this a year and a half ago, and it wasn't until I took your program that I actually started practicing estate planning. And so that speaks volumes to just what you created. And I was just, and not that the other program is bad. I'm not speaking badly of them. It just wasn't what I needed. And so I appreciate your program tremendously.
That makes me really happy. I'm glad that there's options now, right? There's other options, and if people pick the other options, that's okay. But I like that lawyers have this as an option, and I'm always just so flattered and proud when you join because we have a great group. So yeah, thank you for this, Tracy, and we'll put this up on the channel, and I'll see you at 2 o'clock.